Hey folks, welcome to V5Bricks. Hope you're all well. In today's video, I'm doing quite an interesting mock build today of one of my all-time favourite LEGO sets. This is set 6482, the 1989 rescue helicopter, and this is actually my original set from when I was a kid, which I got for my birthday in 1990. And you know what? Back in the day, I always wished I had a police one to go with it. What I used to do was swap out the battery box with my police truck, and I cobbled together a sort of police helicopter, but it was a rebuild of the rescue helicopter and I never had enough parts to do both at the same time. Well, that is until now. Look at what I have created. Voila, police helicopter. And now I finally have two of the hinged rooftop pieces to do this, and that's those opening parts you can see lifted up here. I have to tell you, although simple, this was one of the most fun and nostalgic builds I've done in a while. Oh, and hey, if you want to support the channel and you are new here, then subscribe and hit the notifications bell too, so you don't miss a thing. And I've got regular updates coming throughout November and December on my micro Gotham City build, which is really taking shape. Let's take a closer look at the original 89 rescue chopper, and I have slightly modified this with some really minor things like adding tiles to smooth off the top, and I've given it some extra lights, and the four sloped parts over the wheels I've actually used cheese wedge pieces instead. For the interior, I wanted to have a larger, more modern stretcher, so I've rearranged the computer console and the seat position for the medic. And I've also used some more modern minifigures as well, with this bandaged dude sporting a 90s very cool M-Tron t-shirt. Perhaps the greatest function of this set is the lights and sound, and I'll just be a little bit quiet now so you can hear the two different sounds. How cool is that? And especially after 30 years, that it all still works. I'm so lucky that it does still. Now here's the police chopper, and check this thing out. How cool does this look? I've used those smoky trans colour for the glass, and I've used a more modern canopy for the pilot. Inside there's space for two of our SWAT team, and in the back is storage for weapons or maybe a long sniper rifle, something like that. I am extremely lucky to still have my original police battery compartment, but unfortunately it is corroded and does not work. Check out the old instructions here. I still have this original fella here from the set. These torso prints were used for all sorts of minifigures back then actually. If you take a look compared to the photo here, I'm quite impressed with just how good it looks. It looks almost brand new. And as I said earlier, I changed the slopes over the wheels here. And I couldn't find the same rear single wheels at the back, but it doesn't really matter, it kind of looks okay as it is. I scoured through my collection trying to find the coloured parts that go over the lights. I could only find two yellow ones, which I used for the rescue helicopter, and I think I had a red and a green one, or a blue and a green one, and I just used them on my police helicopter. They're really hard to come by and hard to replace. Oh, and here's those two tiles, which I just think look a bit nicer here. It really makes it look smooth. At the rear here, I could only find 3 of those yellow hinge pieces. I looked everywhere, but I've just ended up having to use a white one here instead. For the pilot, I've got a modern paramedic from last year's hospital set, and he's got the same colour as this original dude here, so that worked out quite nicely. Let's take a closer look inside, and the original computer terminal was actually where the medic is, but I've turned it around to fit in my modern stretcher. I still love the look of those old printed tiles. And I've added a headboard for the stretcher here, and you know, this works perfectly for this space. I'll open up the doors here. Just pull the stretcher out here. It can't fit every kind of minifigure, but that's fine. I'll pull the wheels down. This is a standard stretcher. I've got a nice printed tile here with his heart rate on it, and that came from the hospital set again last year. And I'll just slide it back in, and when I put it back in, the head of the medic helps push this back up, and it all fits straight into place. I'll just pop this back in now. Yeah, you can see what I mean. Yeah, it just pops in. Yeah, it's okay. Close these up. And I'll just remove her, take her out. And you can see, so this was where the console was, as you can see in the old instructions here. And also in here is the grey button which activates the lights. I remember them being able to flash, but mine seemed to be stuck on continuously. But again, I'm just amazed that it even works, so that's fine. And you know what was actually great about this era? Everything was quite small and very swishable and easy to fly around. I think nowadays they're quite big, you know, the police helicopters like this, it would probably end up being quite a substantial build. And that's fine as well, but it's just something about the old classic sizes of the vehicles. Now on to the new creation, the police helicopter. And yeah, at the rear, it's exactly the same design, the same doors and everything. And I've ended up using dark grey hinges. It's the only ones I could find again. It's just something about those parts in my collection. I just don't have that many. I actually used it loads and loads of them on the Millennium Falcon mock I did a while ago. Got my gun rack in here. And yeah, you know what? There's loads of other things I could have done, but the SWAT team really don't have space for this in the cabin. Look at these two. It's like they're on a ride in here. It's very, very compact. But yeah, you can see they really wouldn't have space for this in the back, you know, the guns and stuff when they're seated. And of course, the police sets in those days, of course, never would have had weapons like this. And even the modern sets, they don't have guns either. There's always handcuffs and a radio, things like that. So this is definitely not in keeping with the tone of the 80s set. I also just want to show you the instructions from this time. Perhaps some of you went around back then, or maybe you have never actually seen how limited instructions were. And I mean, take a look at this. In each step, you would have had upwards of 10 bricks being positioned each time. They just would never do that now. You'd end up getting like 2 or 3 books for a set like this. I genuinely consider these instructions to be better. You really had to pay attention to the picture to see what you had to do, and you don't have a huge book, you know, so again, it was actually better for, you know, environment, if anything. And you might not have seen some of the plates with metal in them. They were for the lights and sounds. They had metal conductor parts for the circuit, and I don't really think they do ones like that anymore. I can't think off the top of my head of any sets that have that. One of the other big reasons for doing a SWAT team helicopter was for it to join in with a few of our other SWAT vehicles. Here's the 4x4 from one of my first videos, and the SWAT command truck. If LEGO made a modern version of this helicopter, it'd probably be this size. And yeah, this really fits in with the look. I'll just drop her off, pop her out here. Come on. And you know what? The black and white and the dark blue colour scheme for my helicopter looks much better than the kind of light blues that they often use in a lot of the police sets, well, that they've always used for lots of police sets. I put these things next to each other and they look fantastic. It was meant to be. Oh yeah, and underneath here, unfortunately, I could only find one of those slope pieces in black, so for the police one, I used a more modern version, and it looks maybe a little bit better now, actually. So, after 30 years, 3-0, I have finally made a police helicopter to go along with my rescue one, and this was such a pleasure to do. I've been getting an odd feeling as my kids have been messing about with this, and I was overcome with nostalgia and childlike emotions. It was so nice to see them have the same sort of joy that I did with the helicopter, and of course a whole new experience with the police one. And that's what it's all about for me, especially getting to make something that actually gets played with and enjoyed. It really is worthwhile. I hope they never grow up. And hey, please take the time to like this video and let me know in the comments if you had this set. Did you love it like I did? Are you a collector of vintage sets now? And would you be tempted to mod a police one like I have done? Let me know. And hey, I'm still finding my feet with YouTube. And if you want to be a part of the journey and keep up to date with my simple mocks, my money saving tips, and my big micro Gotham City project, then subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications bell too so you don't miss a thing. And whilst you're here, why not check out some of my other vehicle mock videos here? See you later, bye!